Happy Monday morning. This is Buddy Blake with Coldwell Banker in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I just wanted to reach out and say hello. Hope you had a great weekend and wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about what's going on in the market conditions, not just here in Wilmington, but throughout the country. One of the biggest things that we're seeing now, if you are a home seller or you're thinking about selling, the market has shifted and continues to shift. And we're going to see this happen for a while. It's not going to stop anytime soon. And unless we get a massive long-term mortgage rate reduction, we're not going to see that change it. What we're dealing with here, and I've just done this for over 25 years, and I've been through a lot of these cycles. This one's different though. It is just taking longer to sell houses than people are used to. It's just taking longer than what people think. We've gone from 3 days to 3 months. What I want to talk about now is if you're selling a house that is not a brand new house, you're fighting an amazing competitor in home builders, because what they're doing is they've got inventory built up. There's about, the last I read, 8 to 9 months of new home inventory in the country that is sitting. And national home builders, they can go and cut the prices, lose money on them, throw mortgage incentives on them, buy the mortgage rates down, which can cost them $20,000, $30,000 per house. And even in some cases, we're seeing them offer huge buyer agent commissions just to get them to bring their buyers by. So it is a disadvantage for the seller resales unless you're priced appropriately. The good news is if you've owned your house for 3 to 5 years or more, your house equity probably doubled, if not more or a little less in some cases. But then you add the tax savings to it, and it could be 2.5 times of what you may have gotten just 5 years ago. We're not in 2022 prices, but we're still seeing historical profits for people that have owned their houses for 3 to 5 years and more. In today's market, if you've had your house for a while, some people can't acknowledge that they may get 10, 15, 20% less than what their neighbor may have 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Usually real estate cycles shift every 3 to 5 years when they shift down. And we're in about year 3. So we are thinking that it's probably going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, unless there's some kind of drastic reduction in mortgage rates. And I think the rates will come down, but we're never going to see 2 and 3% interest rates again. In today's market, we've got sellers that have homes sitting on the market 30, 60 days, some days 90. And in many cases, we didn't do a good job on the front end, kind of holding the gates on the price. We let them talk us into pricing a little bit higher than we recommended, or sometimes we missed it because we fall victim to the same thing you do. We don't have a crystal ball. Our entire strategy is changing on what we look at when we price a house. All the marketing and all the open houses in the world cannot fix a pricing issue. And while you may not think you have a pricing issue, if you're not getting showings and you're not getting offers, you have a pricing issue. In today's world, we price homes significantly different than the way we used to. Instead of looking in the rearview mirror, we're looking in the front windshield. What we need to look at first is put our buyer goggles on. See what the buyers are looking at, because they're looking at everything. If your agent is having a recommendation and they're telling you you got a pricing issue, you might want to listen to them. Because again, I'm going to say this again. This is not a popular thing. Open houses aren't going to fix your overpricing. They may help an agent find some buyers, or they may help your neighbors see your house. But open houses is not going to fix an overpricing issue, and marketing is not going to fix it either. Some people are looking for things that are fixer-uppers. Some people are looking for new homes. Some people are looking for things that are ready to walk into that have acreage. But one thing everybody's looking for, especially right now, is a deal. The buyer has to perceive your property as a deal. I don't mean giving it away. After all, you are making a lot of money in a very short amount of time and tax-free in many, many cases. Again, talk to your accountant about that. The better price positions you are, the more likely you are to have one or more prospective buyers quickly. And what that means is you're going to get better qualified buyers. You might get cash buyers. What you don't want to do is end up in a situation where you get only buyers that have a house to sell, that are having to borrow 100% of the money. Now, we do those. We take what we can get, we work it, we negotiate the best we can. But also keep in mind that if you're priced extremely well, and that buyer that puts your house under contract, they go through a home inspection, and I can assure you they're going to find stuff, are going to be much more accepting and workable if they know there's other people would probably buy the house at that price. The more interest you have on your house, the better terms, the fewer inspection issues you're going to probably have to fight or give a credit for, and it's going to make your appraisal a lot easier if somebody is borrowing money. So the news is you've already won the game if you've owned your home 5 years or more. You've won with equity. Maybe you didn't hit the grand slam, but you've already hit a triple. Now understand, the market is still shifting. It may take another year or two for us to find the bottom of where this thing ends. So sell smart, protect your profit, and move forward and be ready for the next opportunity. But don't have an expectation that you're going to double or triple your money in 5 years. So in closing, I would like to recommend a website that we are building, and it helps you do some of the calculations around some of the potential tax savings. Talk to your accountant. Potential insurance information, how you make sure your house has enough replacement value coverage. Again, talk to your insurance agent. But it gives you some really good ideas about your house that you're not going to find anywhere else, and you don't even have to enter your name, your email, or your phone number. Now, if you're thinking about buying a house, people say, when's a good time to buy? When you need to buy. It's always a better idea to buy a house than to rent long term. We've got a really good rent versus buy calculator that'll be shared in a link below that you can click to. It's not ours. We didn't build it. It's somebody else's. But what it does, it takes into account appreciation, mortgage interest deductions, rent increases, and it will show you what your true cost is. So versus rent versus buy. I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much. Have a great week. If I can ever be a resource, click the link below to give me a call, schedule a time to call, or just reply back to this email. I'm happy to be a resource whether you live in the Wilmington area or you live across country. And as I always tell people, I don't know everything to do, but I have learned over the last 25 plus years an awful lot of things not to do. I hope you appreciate the frank conversation. Thanks. Have a great week.